Right team, welcome to part 4. We're going to go over the squats and flow session today. This session is extremely versatile, so it's one of the most important ones for you to watch and understand. You've got a lot of options here to pick, and obviously if you pick everything, you're going to ruin it. That's the number one thing for me. Don't pick everything. Alright, at all. Don't pick everything. So, just like the other 2 days, on this section here, we have a general preparation, the MST Big 5, make sure you pick it. We've got a movement preparation to pick, specific to the session. Now you've got quite a lot of different movement preps here, because this session has a lot of, it can be full lower body, it could be full upper body, it could be a little bit of upper and a little bit of lower. So the movement preparation, you need to pick a movement prep that complements the session that you're deciding to build, all right? So we'll get straight into it. We've got the squat first of all. The squat here, we can pick a front squat, a bow bar squat, camber bar squat, a back squat, pause back squat. We can pick multiple different squats. This is the only section in the app where you can pick full squat programs. There is another section on the main assistance on the deadlift where you can pick some squats, but they don't have access to the full squat program. You only have access to it on this session here. Oh, actually, no, you do have access to it on session 4 as well, actually. But for the most part, this is your main lower body day. The squat, it depends what we're wanting to achieve. So for the most part, your back squat or your safety bar squat are going to be your kind of two fundamentals. However, I'm a huge fan of front squat as well. Some people don't get on with front squat, they don't like it. So if you're one of those, you can stick to your back squat, your safety bars, but I'm a real huge fan of front squats. Now, just like the other phases, depending on what we're doing, we can decide what the best outcome is. If we've got competitions coming up with no squatting, it's probably best to just tick over with the squat here and pick an easier, lower volume phase. A lot of the squat phases in here are lower volume because squat doesn't need to be a priority all the time. However, there are phases in here that are a lot harder. So for example, let's say you're doing an accumulation phase and you're wanting to build that strength potential. You could pick our 20 rep max squat phase and you could really blow up your back squat and add loads of leg strength so that you're able to use that on your events, on your deadlifts, etc. We also have front squat cycles, like the Travis Mash front squat cycles are my favourite. It's going to give you amazing upper back strength, amazing leg drive on your deadlifts. It's going to help you on stone loads, Conan's wheels, carries. It's going to be amazing for you, the Travis Mash cycle. These phases are really difficult and really hard though, so you've got to make sure that if you choose them, that you factor in the other things you're doing within the program. For example, if you're doing a crazy hard deadlift protocol on session 2, maybe you want to just go a little bit easier on your squats, guys, because you're going to overtrain. As much as when you build your program, people love to just pick the hardest of everything, it doesn't work that way and it doesn't get you the best results because you just end up overtrained. So make sure you always take into account the couple of days before as well as just the session you're building. Never look at a session as an individual, look at it as a whole, okay? The next section is your flow state press, and this is something that we've had in the app for a long time. It's a very skill-focused pressing session or extra volume on your pressing. So let's say you wanted to get better at dumbbell, you could add some dumbbell flow state work in, and it's really going to help you accumulate lots of volume and skill at lower loads. This section has some harder press programs in, because in areas you might want to press hard twice a week. But for the most part, these sessions are a lot easier than the sessions that you're going to get on session 1, the specific press section. It's all about adding more volume, more skill, getting you to think, getting you to use different positions, getting you to blend skills together. Because we all know that like strict press is a different position to push press, etc. So flow state work will have you doing like 2 cleans, 1 strict, 2 push, etc. Get you to blend skills together so that that's how you truly master them. You always know if someone's mastered positions when they can go from one to the other like this. The next section is your secondary press. This is exactly the same as your secondary press on session 1. So it just enables you to get some more pressing volume in. Or maybe you didn't do your secondary press on session 1, maybe you want to do it on session 2, etc. It gives you a little bit of freedom to build what you want to build. After this, we've got our main squat assistance, which is going to basically be another compound leg movement. It's going to be something that's going to enable you to get more volume through that deep knee flexion. So it's going to really be an assistance exercise focused on building lower body strength. After this, we've got 2 hip stability sections and knee stability sections. Within inside these sections, it's going to tell you exactly what we're looking to achieve. So if it's knee stability focused, we'll have some knees over toes stuff. From Ben Patrick, we've got some Poliquin stuff as well. We've got some lengthening stuff. So if we wanted to add length and create range of motion through tissue like our hamstrings, we can get that. Just like I said on the shoulder stability section on part 1, there's subsections there, and I'd advise you to just stick to a subsection per phase. So if you wanted to do knee stability, pick 2 knee stability exercises, etc. All right? Next, we've got 2 options for shoulder stability, 2 options for back assistance, 2 options for bicep isolation. So these are things that are previously in the week as well. So we've got back and biceps, and we've got shoulder stability. These are things that if you did these previous in the week, you don't assign them. This is the key role here. These are like backup. So let's say you wanted to just do specific press, strongman press, and secondary press on day 1. No shoulder stability. Maybe you don't have time or whatever. You could add some extra shoulder stability onto this session, if that makes sense. Let's say you didn't have time to do your back assistance or your bicep isolation work. You would add it onto this session, if that makes sense. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to end up doing everything on this session. So it's really important that when you build your phase, you decide where your structural balance work is going to go. Because there are multiple different ways to layer this session. So for example, let's say you just wanted this session to have no squat in it. You didn't want to do any lower body. Maybe you got a knee injury, or maybe you just have a competition coming up that doesn't have anything in that requires a little bit of lower body strength. Maybe it's already a massive strength, you don't need it. You could come in on this session and do flow state press, secondary press assistance. You could do a shoulder stability movement, 1 back assistance, 1 biceps, and that becomes a full upper body session then, and you don't need to worry about any deep knee flexion, etc. Now, previous in the week, you might have still done a little bit of shoulder stability, you might have still done a little bit of back, but because this phase is all focused on upper body, instead of selecting 3 shoulder stabilities on day 1, maybe only select 2. And then you select 1 on this day. So you're just kind of moving things around. So just basically, the best way to think about this is don't do too much, okay? Don't just do loads of back on day 2 and loads of back on day 3, because you're going to overtrain out. Just use common sense. Basically, think of this section as catching up with things that you couldn't do previously. So if you're building your phase and you're in a strongman gym on day 2, maybe you want to do deadlifts, farmers, and sandbag on day 2. And that's it. Really specific strongman focus session, but you did no structural balance work. You could come in on this session here and catch up with your back and bicep movements if you wanted to. On the flip reverse, this could be a push-pull legs style split, and day 3 could all be leg focused. We could come in and do squat, main squat assistance, 2 hip stability exercises, and then we do actually have conditioning at the end of this session as well, so you can do some conditioning as well. So this session, like I say, is extremely versatile. Make sure you pick a goal before you build your phase. Make sure you pick something that you're looking to achieve, all right? If you're looking to blow your leg strength up, pick all leg stuff. Don't even pick any press stuff. Or maybe you want in a blend. Maybe the goal is I want some leg strength, but I do need to touch some dumbbell because I'm not very good at that. You could come in and do squat, flow state dumbbell, main squat assistance, hip stability work, conditioning, and go. This session is very, very versatile. You can do a lot on it. Make sure you check out the videos coming up later on that are going to have weekly training split examples in, because it's going to help you choose the best training split for you so that you can understand how to get the most out of the app. That's it for this part 4, guys. The final part where we talk about the move session, the main event session, we're going to talk about that next, and then we're going to delve into weekly structure. So make sure you check out the next couple of videos. They're really going to help.